Let's take a 4-decade-old classic game like Space Invaders and mix it together with a unique twist of deck building and turn-based tactics. What you get out of it is a fantastic fusion of past and present gameplay concepts, and that game is called Starvaders. What makes the game so enjoyable to play through isn't just this blend of retro and modern genres, but the sheer replay value that it offers with so much incentive to actually experiment with a lot of the many different builds and classes that all offer intricate strategies. I'm the type of person that usually sticks to a predefined build for countless hours. The game will constantly challenge you, pushing you to master mechanics and to tackle its higher level content. My very first run introduced me to a bomb build centered around the gunner, and once I saw the power of spawning an endless stream of bombs with elements that explode and respawn each one of them while also exploding enemy shields and the entire arena, I just couldn't get enough. My old habits kicked in, pushing me to create even more powerful bomb-based builds, each one more insane than the last. While this could be seen as a flaw, the game's abundance of builds pushes you towards more powerful ones. As you reach the higher stages, you are racing against a time limit to take down multiple bosses and their phases, so you're going to find yourself favoring speed. With the Doom counter ticking up quickly, you're more likely to lean towards a massive AoE build rather than single target strategies, unless you somehow crafted a shifting deck of zero cost cards that let you stay mobile while also managing many different shifting enemy elements. Really, that's probably the only one issue that I had with the game. While it is fantastic overall, I felt like the design of the higher stages encouraged powerful repeat builds and zero cost decks over some more random experimental combinations. The need to quickly take down multiple bosses with a time limit pushes you towards these optimized strategies, which can feel like the only viable option. Take for example the Hemophage boss, one of the more challenging bosses to deal with, due to their shields, spread out nature, and center focus. To me, this is one of the worst bosses, due to its ability to one-shot you. Presentation is key, and when a game's music not only sets the mood for you, but also pulls you into a relaxed trance, making the time fly by without you noticing, you know the developers have done this right. The aesthetics are spot on for every character, and each design stands out. The UI is perfect and clean, never confusing, nor is it complicated. Everything is neatly condensed, offering a well-formatted layout that ensures ease of access for both newcomers and more experienced players alike when it comes to the turn-based strategy deck building genre. The game has a feature of rerolling, which is amazing, which lets you reset your turn, shuffle your deck, or reroll cards, rewards, and even shops. It's a clever multi-use mechanic that lets you tailor your own experience even if it risks backfiring. Each enemy has their unique effects. It's clear that the developers put a lot of thought into this game. Do you go for an extra reroll for the enemy rewards, knowing that it could add more doom to your tally in the next turn? Or do you play it safe for the tough fights ahead? Ultimately, the choice is yours, and with over 120 different relics and 300 plus cards separated by groups and specialist defenders, you'll have your work cut out for you, because there is an endless sea of different combinations that you can put together for each and every run, all of which are procedurally generated to offer more challenge than before. It's quite insane with how much detail they put in. The gameplay starts out simple with no overwhelming tutorials or complex mechanics. You're thrown into your first few battles where the game introduces new mechanics with brief explanations, ideal for those who prefer to experience things firsthand or even more slowly. If you do need a refresher, all you have to do is right-click enemies for more information as they go. As you unlock higher difficulties and new mechanics, each run begins to change drastically. You'll gain access to random packs that make certain builds more likely to spawn and the ability to draft 2 starter cards from a large pool of choices, adding even more depth and variety to each and every playthrough. I found the meta progression to be excellent. After playing for a while, whether you're doing well or even if you're struggling, the game continues to introduce new modifiers, debuffs, enemies, and even more challenges on top of it all. These can include super rare items with devastating drawbacks, offering powerful relics or cards that help tackle the harder content. Pursuing these are entirely up to you. It's the risk factor of taking things that can empower you but also screw you over in the long run. The game remains perfectly playable without them. When you do reach Apocalypse difficulty, the game takes a sharp turn. Perfecting that bomb build was incredibly satisfying for me, but time and time again, it just would not be enough. I would often hit a wall with a certain boss fight, whether due to bad relic choices or just because I'm an idiot. More often than not, I was defeated before even reaching the final boss, which I only managed to do once, because of the struggle with the Hemophage boss. Once unlocked, you gain access to even more gameplay with challenge runs. It's so interesting to see so much depth that this game has. Whether it's a single card bomb build that expands its radius every time you draw a junk card, or creating a wall of bomb lasers that prevents anything from passing, to a high mobility zero cost shuffle deck, the game offers so many different ways to play. The sheer number of different strategies available, from repeat builds, melee builds, turret builds, bomb builds, or even the unique mechanics that each character brings to the table, offers the game significantly more replay value, requiring a lot of careful planning and strategic thinking before every move. The main goal, just like with Space Invaders, is to keep the enemies from reaching Earth. You are here to defend against the aliens, and if any of them reach the bottom of the field, they will apply stacks of doom. Certain enemies and modifiers can even channel doom or add doom when killed, so you really do have to think carefully before making your move. If you hit 5 doom, the run is then over, though this can be increased for certain artifacts. When you take damage, you do not die, instead junk cards are added to your hand, and as we previously stated, even that is a part of a specific deck archetype. Nothing here feels wasted. Every single mechanic has a purpose. Starting out, you have access to the Gunners, featuring Roxy, a hot-headed one-time fire starter whose passive grants you +2 heatsink, which allows you to play extra cards once per fight. It felt great for high-cost, big-damage builds, though I found it a bit unreliable. That's because any burnt card becomes useless unless you pick up the right relics to keep them in your discard pile or to freeze them when you enter into your hand, which makes builds feel inconsistent without the proper support. Noelle is easily my favorite character. She can freeze her right-hand card, which unburns them and also locks them into place for the next turn. Not to mention that she's the go-to for bomb builds thanks to her default deck build with Novalanche. The longer that you hold off playing Novalanche, the more bombs that you can drop while keeping it in your hand. She's also ideal for builds that involve burning a lot of cards. Once again, using the right relics can help you by freezing burnt cards when drawn. Zeke is a character that focuses on dismantling cards instead of burning them. Doing so gives him a copy and also a random zero-cost card. His playstyle revolves around purging cards from play, and while it's a cool concept, it is a bit harder to manage. I'm more obsessed with Noelle, since I haven't spent much time experimenting with him yet. Once you play long enough to unlock new character sets, the gameplay shifts from firing lasers to setting traps, using melee, and other unique build mechanics. If you ever get tired of the starting cast, there's always something fresh to explore, and that variety adds a ton of replay value. Starvaders stands out as one of the most engaging deck builders that I've seen in a long while, not just because it nails the core mechanics and has a fantastic soundtrack, but because it actively pushes the genre forward with fresh, inventive ideas that make you want to experiment instead of repeating. If you're into strategy, experimentation, and real challenge that keeps you coming back for hours at a time, this is definitely a game that's worth checking out. I'm currently running a giveaway for this game through our community Discord, courtesy of the developers. This is on a limited timer, and it will wrap up on Monday, so don't miss out on that chance.